Welcome to NFL Road, the NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And the final wild card game is in the book between the Vikings and Rams that was being played in Arizona. Continued thoughts and prayers to the people of LA with the forest fires. In this game, the thing I expected the Rams to come out a little slow and a little nonchalant. It made it, this game didn't mean that much to them after what had happened over the course of the last week. And that's not how they came out. They actually came out with so much fire. No pun intended. They came out with so much energy. They started the game, they go right down the field. And then the Vikings were the team that couldn't get on a roll. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. They were being put in passing situations. Sam Darnold sacked 9 times. It was not a good enough performance from the Vikings. It's that simple. But if you really want to ask the question of was this all Sam Darnold's fault, the answer is in fact no. Now they had him going back to when he was with the New York Jets when he was seeing ghosts. That was unstoppable if your offensive line can't protect you and your wide receivers can't get open. That's an issue. When your run game has been consistent all year long and you are unable to run the football, it's a problem. It is a massive, massive problem. And you feel bad for a guy like Sam Darnold. You absolutely do. That's a situation you don't want to be in. It's not fun. You hope he learns from this. You know, he is going to get paid in the offseason. Someone, I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings want to bring him back. He said, you know what? We're going to bring you back in the role that you were going to play before JJ got hurt. You're going to be a player. You can help out JJ. But we now know you can be the long reliever that we need if JJ gets hurt again. So at that point of it, let's see what happens. But it was not a good performance in the Vikings. That's the darn truth. I also want to say this. So I was watching the Manning cast, and Belichick was on. And there was a play that Matthew Stafford's getting sacked. He's being pulled. His head, you can't even see his head. And you just see his arm kind of just throws it a little bit. At first, pulled a fumble. They turned back Vikings. Then became that would have tied the game at 10-all. Then it was a forward pass. And Belichick said something. The time was there, you know. The NFL is a offensive league. You're not getting those calls for whatever reason. You know, Belichick had said it was going to be a forward pass. And then it wasn't. It was just the replay of it. It's spinning at them. The rule should be that arm actually has to go forward in a forward manner. Ball can't just be shoveled to the side. The ball has to go forward in a forward manner to declare it forward. And that's it. If you do that, it shouldn't be a forward pass. Or it should have been intentional ground. Because it didn't even get beyond the line of scrimmage. That's not at all. Man about that. Of course, because this game did happen on a Monday, there was news that broke about the Dallas Cowboys, because that's what the Cowboys do. Earlier that day, the Cowboys had decided to not retain Mike McCarthy. They cleaned, according to Pelissero, according to Schefter, according to all these people, they couldn't agree on the length of contract. There was obvious other things about that, not just the length of the contract, but how much on the contract. Mike McCarthy was severely undercompensated compared to other coaches, only making up $8 million. That is the report from Carlos. McCarthy was making $8 million. Jerry Jones didn't want him to make $8 million. Also, Jerry had asked because he to lower his staff, to make his staff small. He didn't want to pay coaches. He put this in perspective. Mike Tomlin, which I think is not even the highest paid coach, is making 15. So there's a severe learning curve, bell curve of this, of where coaches are getting paid, and Mike McCarthy is not in that sweet spot. So that was another reason. I think the reason was also play call. They didn't want Mike to be a play caller. They said, Mike, we've seen this for 2 years. It is not good. We don't like it. We want another guy to do it. And I don't think that he's McCarthy that happy. I also think Telfair, when he was talking about Jerry Jones and Jerry Jones was talking to his agent, really never got to the negotiating part of it, just since he was talking to him. So I think that frustrated McCarthy a little bit and made that just a little easier to move on. McCarthy is interviewing with the Bears. So how does this all get looped back to the Cowboys on Monday Night Football? Well, I'll tell you. During the game around the halftime period, I get a notification on my phone. Jerry Jones has talked to Deion Sanders. Could Deion be on the way to that? That was what was basically said. That was said. Halftime, even though the Cowboys were not part of the game, we still had to talk about the Cowboys. Talk of it. And that's just conveniently let out. Is Deion a likely choice for the job? It'd be a great. It'd be great for if you're Deion. Deion has softened the idea a little bit of coaching the NFL. He did say that in an interview that if he was able to coach his son Shooter and Shiloh, that he'd be open to it. Well, that would be who could get Shiloh would be probably the Raiders. It wouldn't be the Cowboys because that contract right now is $89.89 million. And even if he restructured it, it goes to 52. But if you were to trade him or even cut him, it jumped from $89.89 million to $103 million in a trade. Not logical in any way to trade him at any point in time in the next 2 years or even in the next 4 years. It's just not logical. That's what I'm talking about. So the likelihood of Deion becoming the coach down instead of being the quarterback, not happening. Also, we do want to make this abundantly clear. We never talked about an interview. There was never an interview play of, okay, Deion's going to talk to the Cowboys about the head coaching. They haven't, as much as we know, they just talk. I also want to make this clear. Deion is in the midst of trying to get an extension to the University of Colorado, and that there's a contract on the table that Deion has yet to sign. This could just be a ploy to get more money from the University of Colorado. Well, I don't get money here. I'll go to Dallas. I'll be the head coach of the Cowboys. I don't think Deion either wants to leave Boulder. I think Deion just wants to get as much money. And even if it's from Boulder, so those are the reasons of why Deion won't go. I want to give my reason of why I don't want Deion to be. And the reason for that is because he's already a success in Dallas. All the time, every day, it's a success. When this news broke that Deion Sanders and Jerry Jones had spoke, no interview was set up. That dominated ESPN the whole day. You know it did. You know it absolutely did. Deion's not going to be Dallas. but it dominates the news cycle. And that's what the Joneses want. If Deion did go to Dallas, it wouldn't just be a show, it'd be every show. But we must talk about the Cowboys and Deion thing. Good that also it was said that Deion's staff he pays a lot for coaches. He brings in a lot of coaches. His staff is quite large. He's not gonna want to push that. Maybe they have also another ego in Deion. I don't see that being a positive step. Cena already has so many egos in the front office. Them having another ego would not make it better. At the end of the game between the Rams and Vikings, I do want to give credit where credit is due to the defensive coordinator of the Rams, just who I believe is the grandson of Don. That was a masterful game. They blitz a lot, they blitz often, but just get there with their front four. Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, Smith, they did get enough. They did a great job in getting all of us involved. That was a great job by a group of people who understood what was being done. Great job by them. So this morning, the Dallas Cowboys have set up an interview for their head coaching position, and it is with Robert Saleh. And you say, well, wait a minute. You said the Cowboys should go offense. I do. And asking, but I also like what Robert Saleh brings. He has that 49ers defense that you have been unable to master in recent years. It has been extremely good. When I saw a thing, I was reading X, when I heard about the Robert Saleh, and then saying his defense gave up 32 points. Wrong. Get into that. His defense did not give up 32 points. His defense gave up 17. You know how many games you can win if your defense gives up 17? That's amazing. You can't be any more amazing than that. If your defense only gives up 17 points, that's amazing. I think the most they gave up that year, if I remember correct, was the San Francisco game. And I think they only gave up 24. So it was just their offense feature. That was the issue. Then you can blame down Nathaniel Hackett and Tom Downing and all those. You can blame that on all those. Absolutely. That's the thing about Robert Saleh you have to act. He's never gotten the offense under the right. Now, according to a Cowboys insider, who also the Cowboys were to bring in Robert Saleh, a name to watch out for as offensive coordinator would be a Mike LaFleur. Matt LaFleur's brother, who was in San Francisco with him, right now is the offensive coordinator, not play caller, offensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams. So he's got the McVay and the Shanahan piece of the creation in 1960. This team needs a leader and a voice intimate type. I've never seen anyone more excited than Robert Saleh in my life as a head coach. I want that on my team. I don't care if he's a defensive coordinator. Bring in someone prominent. This is a start. I also want to make this abundantly clear. It's not a race issue. It has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with bringing the best guys for the job. Right now, you could say Robert Saleh is the best for the job. I also want to slide this part in before we start moving on. I don't think the head coaching should stop. This wouldn't satisfy the rule, by the way. I want the head coaching to start to. I want the Cowboys a long, lengthy coaching season. So every coordinator, every quarterback, so basically what the Bears do, bring in everybody. And the reason to do that is so you can get multiple philosophies, different ages, and also different viewpoints of how they would answer. And once you do that, you feed it to as far as you can't get around the people, you get as close to it as possible. And the reason for doing that is something else might take you. You may have, excuse me, a hope that you can interview that if you make a decision right now, it ain't gonna matter. But if you interview him and you wait longer and longer and longer, yes, you may lose some, but you also may be able to gather some guys. I'm talking like for an example. You cannot interview these guys, Lions guys, Ravens guys, Bills guys, Eagles guys, Commanders, Rams guys. You can't interview Houston guys. You can't. You can only interview them after the season is done for them. You could have interviewed the Lions Chiefs guys last week, but you took too long. If you want the ability to at least talk to, you would wait for their season, which could be next week, could be the week after, could be the 6 week. I don't know what the rules mean if you can interview them for the Pro Bowl. I'd have to look more into it. That's the thing you should discuss as well. Wait a little while before making a decision. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. Okay, yeah. Let's move on to a team who is also out of the playoffs in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was going to say, this is a report that I just saw. It's a report. Russell Wilson struggled to coexist with Steelers offensive coordinator. Smith allegedly wanted Justin Fields to remain quarterback. One, Tomlin had a different idea. I think, first of all, the coexistence, I think, does mean, I guess we could say it, to coexist Russell Wilson, who's never played with Arthur Smith, and Arthur Smith. There's things that Russ could not do that Justin Fields could. There's things that Justin Fields couldn't do that Russ could. Does that mean I would have continued with Russ? I don't know. Especially with the last game did. Maybe I would have got tempted. But we could see what he was trying to accomplish. I don't think Tomlin wants to really destroy the. It was a question of if he was going to destroy the locker room with Russ, maybe he thought he had a better chance at Russ. I still think they could have got Justin Fields, especially after the skid late in the season. That's my opinion. Obviously, it's a shared opinion because Arthur Smith feels the same way. Russ can't do the same thing athletic. For Russ to throw the ball 30, and I know the coach is that, but it doesn't. Well, Bill signed former quarterback to mimic what Lamar Jackson brings to the table before they end up facing each other this week. Because Bill was 3 years ago. It basically has the same skill set. Nobody Lamar Jackson. Quick footed, good arm, not as accurate, but there's a lot of those things. And that's just what they say, Bill's leaving no stone unturned. Yeah, because you haven't beaten Lamar Jackson consistently. Take your chances. see what happens. We don't know. I definitely would. It also makes sense to me from a logical perspective because you want to get these guys something that you're used to on a short week. Let's move to the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans obviously had to play the Kansas City Chiefs. They decided they were going to waive Deontay Johnson, former Pittsburgh Steelers, former Carolina Panther, former Baltimore Ravens. Why is Deontay Jackson being passed around like a top pick? It's because Deontay Johnson is the Chiefs don't want to handle fertility issues from a guy who's going to. This is the reason Antonio Brown didn't coexist with the seeing that there's a lot of that with players who just lack maturity at times. Just somehow they're able to keep under wraps, and once that player leaves, that is in the limelight, everywhere they go, it's in the limelight, and no one can figure out how to fix it. I think Johnson's been disruptive. He didn't really play in Baltimore, didn't connect in Baltimore. He didn't really connect in Carolina that well. That was the first off. They he tried to get connect. Now he should be a free agent. I don't know exactly what will happen to Deontay Johnson, but something needs to be ironed out. Mike Tomlin was asked on whether or not he would be traded as a coach, and he said that. How was it? Former Cowboys defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer is quote unquote contemplating what player meant. Zimmer doesn't think. Since Zimmer went to Dallas, he said that coaching meant a lot, means a lot to him. He went up to age guy. You don't know. I'm sure if anyone was to give him a call, that would snap him out of it. But at this point, he's contemplating it. But it's kind of like acting, coaching. Something's kind of like acting. You don't stay retired. You might retire for a year, maybe even 5 years. And at some point, someone's going to send you the script and say, hey, why don't you read the script? If you don't like it, then we'll go somewhere else, or why don't you give us some suggestions of how to clean up scripts, how to, or who you could bring in for the role or whatever. And then they read the script once, they read it twice, they read it 3 times, and says, no, it has to be me doing the script. And then they do like 6 movies in a row. That's kind of what happens here in coaching. Nah, I don't want to go back. No, I don't go back. No, just listen to a proposal. All right. Well, okay, then who else is it? And they listen to it. We need it's just past meeting and then for 6 years. It's how it works. For whatever reason, it is how it operates. And you don't know why. According, you have this real quick. So the Ravens, they have it backwards here. It's actually Ravens first Bills in what's it called? No, the Ravens, but I'll let it be. It says the weather update for this game, single digit temperatures, what's it in January. It's gonna if it's cold, it's gonna snow. No, it's not. And there's the way that you're gonna get you. I'm expecting to get I'm expecting all these games pretty much in the AFC side to be really. That's the best way I can. So let's move on to the divisional round. These are the games on Saturday. Houston Texans and Kansas City Chiefs on ABC at 4:30, followed by Commanders at Lions on Fox. And on Sunday slate of games, we have Rams Eagles on NBC at 6, and Ravens Bills on CBS. And I at 6. That's 3, my bad. 6:30 Ravens at Bills. That's on CBS. Let's start because I'm looking through the graph here. There you go. So let's start Texans at Chiefs. Over under is 8.5. That's 8.5 is the over. 40, or 8.5 is the likelihood that the Chiefs are going to win. Let's say like the over under is 41. When like the last time these two teams played was a devastating King Cell injury. Chiefs kind of got lucky in the situation. The teams they were likely to face, Chargers, the Texans, the various other coaches that they could give me, the various other teams that could have faced, excuse me, were it was those two teams. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be Pittsburgh, Houston, or the Chargers. All teams the Chiefs have faced the last month. That's the same thing. You played Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. You played Houston before Christmas. You played the Chargers. I think the earliest of those two. And I believe that was like December. December. You were predicting everyone since December. That's all the time. This week. So I'm trying to speak a little loud. I got Chiefs winning. I think it's closer than this. So Texans covered the Chiefs win. 2024. Next time, Dome Stadium. This stadium actually, this is the worst stadium to play at the time. It's the worst place to play in terms of your feet can't get it out of the ground. You suffer more ACL injuries on the field than unimaginable at times. It's crazy. Give me the Lions. Commanders struggle to beat Tampa, and the Lions, who are supposed to have David Montgomery back for this game, will be ready to roll by a much needed fight. That game against the Vikings was pivotal. They needed time off. Ranged up as they were. Just a few. Give me the line. You need beat out kind of style, which we all love and enjoy. Lions win 41-30. Next Sunday, Rams at Eagles. Eagles they 6. The over under 44. The last time these two teams played, the Eagles outperformed the Rams. I could see something similar happen. The last time these two teams played, also Jalen Hurts was hitting everything. The last game against the Packers, not quite so much. Does that continue? Give me the Eagles. They win this game a lot closer than 27-24 Eagles. Final game. Ravens at Bills. Bills +1. The over under is 51.5. So I saw this on Monday. And then I saw it again on Tuesday saying the Bills were underdogs at home. Why is it comes back to their enemy, Lamar Jackson, and that Ravens off. It really does. The Ravens are a more built team than the Bills are. But the Bills have Josh Allen, James Cook, Amari Cooper. Everyone is really producing. This is going to be a fun game. This is probably the best game of the week. Keep this 31-28 Ravens. Justin Tucker make a big field goal. Count. And he gets run at the right time, and that's Justin Tucker. 31-28 Ravens. The final divisional game. So we would have Pete at home versus the Ravens. Lions at home against the East. And that would be our AFC. Let me know in the comment section who you have won this week. And also, what is the biggest score of the weekend? For NFL World, I'm David Pickett.